Alright, so welcome back to this is this is What If Female Deku with Kaguya Otsutsuki Part 2. Now, in the last part, I asked you guys whether it'd be hold on. Sorry about that. So I asked you whether this wife be a hero, a villain, or vigilante, and apparently a lot of you wanted a hero one, so this one will be a hero. So we'll pick up with Kaguya. Kaguya preparing for the 10 months of training to get into UA, with her getting Inko and Mitsuki in on it for the training. So yes, Inko and Mitsuki will have graduated from UA instead of their normal colleges that they went to. So while they're getting in on their training, Inko's telekinesis quirk gets a lot stronger, with her being able to. Oh my god! Hold on, give me a minute. Alright, so as I was saying, Inko's quirk goes from being able to attract small objects to being able to attract medium objects towards her. It's like people, and the pull is a lot stronger and a lot faster. So they'll be able to be destroyed a lot easier. She'll be able to beat people a lot easier. And Mitsuki's quirk just I don't know if Mitsuki picks up some martial arts, so she trains with Kaguya in the martial arts aspect to develop her fighting abilities. So I don't know if said what Kaguya's fighting style was like. It's sort of like a mix of karate and taijutsu. That's taijutsu and tai chi. So that's what it's basically a mix of. So with that out of the way, Kaguya, Inko, and Mitsuki's quirks basically get bolstered. Now, if I remember correctly, Kaguya knows all the different types of jutsus, so all the elemental jutsus as well. If I remember correctly, but since I haven't seen Naruto, I don't know any of them. But I do know some of them, so we'll get to that later on. And as the 10 months pass, we then get to the entrance exam for UA. Now, if I remember correctly, I said that UA was a college in this one. I believe, yeah, I did. With Kaguya, Mitsuki, and Inko entering the grounds of UA to take their final exams. No, not the final exam, the entrance exam. With the rankings going something like this. Kaguya is, for the Rin portion, Kaguya comes in first. Inko comes in second. Actually, Inko and Mitsuki tie for second. And Aizawa comes in third. And then we get to the physical portion of the entrance exam, with Inko and Mitsuki being sent to different areas, and Kaguya being put in the same area as Aizawa. Now, if I remember, I think in this time, in like earlier years of UA, they used actual pro heroes. They used some heroes for the raining or the robots, but I'm going to say it's going to be they're using the robots just to be safer. No, they're using people. I think, yeah, they'll use people. No, robots. I'll go with the robots. So, once the person on the announce says go, Kaguya immediately goes in and just blitzes all the robots with her speed and using her all-killing ash bones, which basically disintegrates the robots. As she also incorporates some fire jutsus and yin and yang jutsus, and using the Rin Sharingan for Amaterasu, as she gets a total of 50 villain points and 50 hero points, because she was also helping some students who are having trouble with their robots. As they then send in the 0-pointer with everybody running away except for Kaguya, because somebody was trapped underneath the rubble. And since this is earlier in the timeline, it's not Uraraka. So Kaguya basically uses you create some truth-seeking orbs and sends them towards the 0-pointer, where once all of them land on it, they then I think they can explode, so they end up detonating, destroying the 0-pointer, as Kaguya uses basically lifts up the rubble to help them out. As once she does that, the entrance exam is over, as she then heads back to her home, where Gran Torino ends up asking how does she do, as Kaguya states that she doesn't know and will have to wait for the results. With Kaguya, with them waiting I believe it was a week or 2 weeks, I'll say 2 weeks, with the envelope coming in with I don't know which, since it's earlier, it's not going to be All Might, it's going to be someone else. So I'll say it's the samurai hero, saying that Kaguya had gotten first place in the entrance exam and is in class 1A, as he then greets her to her here, as he welcomes her to UA, with her being very happy at this, as she calls Inko and Mitsuki, with Mitsuki saying that she got into class 1B, and Inko stating that she also got into class 1B. So yes, Inko and Mitsuki will be pro heroes in this, and so Bakugo will be a lot more cocky after he's born. So once Kaguya gets to class 1A, she sees a black-haired boy just looking down and just sitting there and waiting for class to begin, as she would then walk up to him and say that her name is Kaguya, and she asks what's his, as he then says that his name is Shota Aizawa. And she actually begins talking with him for a little bit, and their year goes about normally as a year in a hero school could go, And then we'll get to when they are in second year, with Aizawa then going with Aizawa choosing his internship with Now, in this timeline, Kaguya is in Aizawa's friend group along with President Mike, Oboro, and Midnight. With that timeline basically going as it does normally, with them going through their internships, just with Kaguya there, and Oboro dying from the building collapsing. But instead of Aizawa facing off against the giant villain by himself, Kaguya also helps him by using some of her truth-seeking orbs, and then once Aizawa lands the final blow, she then ends up containing the villain by pressing down and like that giant truth-seeking orb that she used against Naruto, Sasuke, that she was about to use against Naruto and Sasuke, but was interrupted. As that basically pins the villain, as Kaguya then pulls it back and then causes it to dissipate once the pros arrive, and with Oboro Shirakumo being declared dead. And Aizawa, Mike, and Midnight and Kaguya were all affected by this, with Kaguya basically building. You know how I think it's in some parts of Japan where they'll build funeral shrines for a person who's died. Yeah, she built that in her house right next to Nana's funeral shrine, as she then pays her final respects to Oboro before the four of them move on with their school year, with them all eventually graduating and becoming pro heroes, with Kaguya's hero name being the Rabbit Goddess, Kaguya Otsutsuki. So the Otsutsuki part will be part of her hero name, but she just goes by Kaguya. With Aizawa and Kaguya's relationship getting closer and closer, to the point where eventually a couple years after graduating from UA, they eventually end up getting married, with Kaguya's last name being Aizawa. With Aizawa still being the underground hero that he is, and Kaguya being quite a high-ranking hero, I would say she's a rank number 2. So she's the number two hero. So Endeavor is down at number 3, and Endeavor is infuriated by this. So he doesn't not only does he create Shoto. Not only does he strive to create a perfect child with a perfect combination of quirks just to beat All Might, but he also does it to try and beat Kaguya as well. With Aizawa and Kaguya ending up having an estate similar to her home, to the estate she had when he was with Gran Torino. Oh, sorry. They also have some electronics in there as well, with Kaguya using Kaguya basically having a truth-seeking orb by at all times, which also generates a large amount of electricity to power the entire estate. Then Aizawa later on gets a job offer. Kaguya and Aizawa get a job offer to become teachers at UA to teach the future generations. Now this will be when the Class 1A that we know joins UA. So Inko and Mitsuki are both pro heroes. Inko is number 15, while Mitsuki is number 14. Now, if you have any ideas for Mitsuki and Inko's pro hero names, let me know in the comments. So this is when Bakugo. So Aizawa gets the offer to teach Class 1A, and instead of Lad King teaching Class 1B, it'll be Kaguya. Now, Kaguya's hero outfit is basically the same one that she wore after she was brought back by Black Zetsu at the end of Naruto. So it's the same clothing that she's wearing. That's her pro hero uniform, but the clothing you see in this picture is her normal attire. So it's what she wears normally. With Kaguya agreeing to teach Class 1B, and Aizawa agreeing to teach Class 1A. So Kaguya will have to put up with Monama's nonsense, but it's the price she's willing to pay. With Aizawa basically having to deal with the angry Pomeranian that is Bakugo. So Izuku is a part of class. No, not Izuku. Instead of having a son, Inko had a daughter named. I'm gonna call her Izuki. Yeah, I'm gonna call her Izuki, and her quirk is fire manipulation. So basically, what people think Izuku's quirk would have been in canon. So, with that going for her, Aizawa basically goes through the same things that he teaches Class 1A, with sometimes doing some cross lessons with Class 1B with Kaguya, and they do talk with Midnight and Mike from time to time, but Aizawa has the same attitude as he does in canon, with Kaguya being a lot more friendly towards them. So she's talking with them often while Aizawa is just sleeping in the corner, or wherever he sleeps in the staff room. As we then fast forward to the USJ attack. So this time, Class 1B is there with Class 1A instead of it just being Class 1A, with the League of Villains appearing, stating that they are here to kill All Might and Kaguya Otsutsuki. With Kaguya being there at the time, as she does have her truth-seeking orbs at the ready. If you're wondering where she stores them, she stores them in the sleeves of her hero costume. So that's where she has them stored, with them all flying out from her sleeves. As the villains that see her begin, as Kaguya and Aizawa do end up heading down there to fight them, Kaguya ends up dealing with a majority of the villains by just sticking the truth-seeking orbs to them and then to the villains and then detonating them. Now, Kaguya makes sure that the truth-seeking orbs explosions aren't powerful enough to kill them, but strong enough to basically knock the wind out of them. So that's what she's doing while Aizawa's dealing with the villains, as he does normally. With him then getting attacked by the Nomu and getting beaten down by it. And when Kaguya sees this, let's just say she gets pissed, and the Rinne Sharingan that's on her forehead ends up opening up. So here's the thing: when she's doing like her pro hero work, she never really has used the Rinne Sharingan that often, with her only using it in like emergency situations. And the Rinne Sharingan opens up as she says Amaterasu, with the Nomu basically bursting into black flames as the Nomu ends up screeching in pain as it basically begins to crumble away into nothing. With Shigaraki being angry at this, stating that she cheated, as he then goes to try and disintegrate her, with her then putting Shigaraki in with her pinpointing Shigaraki's weak points with the Byakugan and slowing time down enough from her perspective with the... Sorry about that. With her slowing down time enough with the Ren Sharingan, as she then ends up hitting Shigaraki right below where your ribs end and where your stomach is. Yeah, she hits her there. She hits him there, with Shigaraki basically on the ground, basically with the wind knocked out of them, as Kurogiri then warped them both away, with the villains being detained. And that is where I'm going to leave off. I do hope you guys enjoyed this part, and I will see you guys next time.